Good morning. It is Monday, uh, June 22nd. It's a beautiful day here in Reno, Nevada. 22 is kind of a Jesus number as far as I'm concerned, because Jesus, he's pi, 3.14. And you need pi to calculate a curve or a circle. Um, my video today is, Disclosure Day is upon us. And of course, when I say that, most people are probably thinking July 12th, because that is the day that the new Steven Spielberg movie Disclosure Day comes out, July 12th. And in his movie, it's talking about aliens, the existence of aliens. When I talk about Disclosure Day, I'm actually 2 days ahead of that, July 10th, 710. Those are my magical numbers. And the disclosure I would point to is Revelations 710, where it says, at that time, the mystery of God will be revealed. And I think it's to everybody, but at least to those who have eyes to see. And, we're going into Cancer, as far as an astrological sign, it started. And, happy summer solstice to everybody, which is the longest day of the summer. And, a lot of energies are flowing out there, both positive and negative. But Cancer is upon us, and some amazing things might be happening in July. Happy 4th of July. It's the America's 250th anniversary. There's always signs in the sky, astrology, that's kind of what it's about. I've been watching the word forgiveness. My buddy Greg over there, I call him Mr. Yellow Hat. I was thinking what, like, for a nickname, and I was thinking of Captain Kangaroo and Mr. Green Jeans, and I was sitting there going, yeah, he could just be Mr. Yellow Hat. But you know what? I like Greg. He's a cool dude. He's always talking about super interesting stuff. I don't necessarily agree with everything he says, but in both the book of Daniel and the book of Revelations, they talk about the same stuff from different angles, and they describe it slightly different. But it's the book of Daniel, chapter 7, is when he's having this apocalyptic vision of four beasts. And there's, I'd have to look at the whole chapter, but I'm just saying that apocalyptic vision, it's the fourth beast who has teeth that are just crushing everybody and who's unlike the other beasts. And then there's like 7 and the 8th one. And, that's something I was kind of throwing back and forth with Greg. I don't think he necessarily understood where I'm coming from, but he draws this diagram with a circle and the 7 planets, which he calls the 7 Sumerian kings, off of the Sumerian kings list. And, most ancient cultures, they knew of 7 planets, but, now there's more than 7. And it's specifically the outer planets. The ancients didn't really know too much about that. But they're the ones that are in play going into July in Cancer. It's Pluto, Neptune, and Uranus. They're all at like 4 degrees. So it's like 444, which is Jesus's resonance number, according to Greg over there on the word forgiveness. And, what I'm going to do, he has a website. I'm still kind of playing around with it, but I want to put in the names of those outer planets and see the number, the gematria, because that's how he places them around that circle. And I'm just going to see where they kind of line up and how it adds to that drawing, because I think it could be part of the sacred geometry that's unfolding. And there was an astrologer back in the day. I think he died in 2019, but he was predicting amazing things for 2026 based on the formations, the trines and whatnot that are happening in the next week or two, in July, with the outer planets and all their energies. And so in both the book of Daniels and Revelations, there's like the numbers 7 and 10. So, 10 kings, 7 kings, 3 kings. And it's kind of like the 7 inner planets, the 3 outer planets. And, see, to me, I'm with Greg, when they're talking about kings, maybe they're not talking about kings. They're talking about something else, about planets, like Jupiter is the king planet, but, what is it that's going to unfold, that's going to manifest? And I'm saying it's disclosure. There's going to be a lot of things revealed, and I would say, to me, it's the collective mindset. That's what we're kind of going into, because the internet's playing into it. It's brainwashing. It's the mob. There's a negative mindset. TDS, the Trump derangement, and the haters. Hate is a mindset, but it's a negative mindset, and the energies are both positive and negative. But changes in our collective thinking. Here in the United States, there's like this socialistic movement going, especially amongst young people who don't really study history, because if you did study history, you wouldn't be supporting socialism or communism so wholeheartedly, but that's one of the things, is there are forces out there that don't want people looking backwards and understanding how things work, and a lot of people will put forth that things have been distorted, but that's part of one of the disclosures. Is, could one of them be a lie? Because I think it's 2 Thessalonians 2:22, where it talks about God. In the end times, he allows this humongous deception to form. And is that part of what's going to be revealed as well? Some big lie, but everybody believes it, They're ginned up. But the collective mindset with Christ, and, I think it's in play, man. It's going to manifest. So anyway, I'm just going to end it there, man. And, thank you for watching, and, I'll be back at you, man. There's amazing things coming.